Hello and welcome to the cottage of chaos and mayhem. The kids are the chaos, the rest is just mayhem. And in today's tutorial, I'm going right back to very early beginners. You're just starting out in crochet. Now, these are the things that I would recommend that you get if you're just starting crochet. So let's have a look, shall we? Now, when it comes to it, one thing I've noticed while doing my series, I made it so you don't have to, is all these beginner kits come with 2mm hooks, 2.5mm hooks, and 4-ply yarn, which is okay if you're not a beginner. As an intermediate or an advanced crocheter, you can work with these, but this is going to be incredibly difficult if you are a beginner starting from scratch. You've never done it before. What I personally would recommend, from having taught my children how to crochet, is that you start off with a much thicker hook. A 5mm hook, a 6mm hook. The thicker the hook, the easier it is because you can see your stitches very easily. And you're just starting out, you're just learning about tension and how to hold the hook. So a 5mm hook is what I would personally recommend. No smaller than a 5mm hook. An 8mm hook, go for it, but no smaller than 5mm. Secondly, I would definitely never recommend finer yarns for beginners. And when I say finer yarns, I'm on about 4-ply sort of yarns, or even DK at times. I mean, trying to teach my children, because I mostly use DK and 4-ply, and it is very difficult to get started, especially for young children, as I found, but they're using what I've got in the house. So this is something that I would be cautious of. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd say go for a thicker yarn like Aran yarn. DK is okay, but try not to go any finer than that. Again, it gets harder to see your stitches. But what I'd also recommend is sticking to a lighter colour yarn. Avoid blacks because you're going to struggle seeing your stitches. Go for lighter colours like green or pink or white. The other thing is, I would say to avoid the sparkly yarns. I know they look so pretty. That was a mistake I made when I first started out with crochet, was I was going for yarns that were all sparkly. They are very difficult to learn how to crochet with, and again, I would definitely 100% say steer away from until you have got more advanced. Even now, I struggle with sparkly yarn. Another one is avoiding Chanel yarns to start with. One, they can be quite expensive, and two, if I can find the end, I will try to demonstrate this. I really do not get on with Chanel yarn. It just all comes apart. Where's the end? One moment. Okay, I found the end. So as a beginner, you are going to be frogging a lot. So I'm just going to show you what I found often happens with Chanel yarn. So I'm just going to make a magic ring as a demonstration. And this is also why I don't like Chanel yarn. I love the feel of it. It feels absolutely lush. So soft to the touch. But it comes with a catch. Okay, now I'm going to frog it. It's not going to do it now. But you can see it here. It's not going to do it on camera. But you can see where I frogged this yarn before compared to the rest of the yarn, because it quite often just comes apart as you're frogging it, and then it'll get thinner and thinner, and you lose so much of the Chanel, and it'll look scruffy. And if you are a beginner, you are not going to be experienced with tension. You're going to be frogging a lot, and the last thing you want is your creation looking a mess because the yarns become a mess. So I would definitely recommend steering clear from Chanel yarns, and also being cautious as well when using chenille yarns, because as an absolute beginner, because it is so soft and silky, it's also quite slippery. So trying to learn how to hold your tension can be quite difficult. So again, I would recommend steering clear of chenille yarn, sticking to your thicker yarns, your worsted weight yarns, your iron yarns to get started. I'd also recommend, don't go mad, don't spend lots of money. There is no need to spend a lot of money when it comes to crochet to start with. And that's where I'm moving on to next, because the next thing I'm going to bring up is your hooks, because hooks can actually start getting quite expensive. Now, I absolutely love this kit. I love it. It is my dream. It goes everywhere with me. Would I recommend a beginner buy it? No, absolutely not. It cost me £20 for this kit, and yes, it's great when traveling because I have the interchangeable heads, I have a little spanner for changing it, you know, everything is in here. It's great for traveling. The hook, when it's charged, actually lights up and it can keep count of my stitches and my rows, which is great. But I cannot say that a beginner should buy it, because it's £20, and when you're just starting out with crochet, you don't know if you're going to take to it or not. So just buy a cheap hook to start with. So all you need to do is buy a cheap hook, some cheap, thicker, heavier yarn to get started. Don't be wasting your money on £20, £30 hook kits and stuff like that if you're not sure. If you're just very first starting out, it would be a waste of money. If you didn't take to it, if you decided, you know what, crochet isn't for me, you'd have wasted your money. I didn't buy this kit until I'd been crocheting for a year and a half, and I started crocheting in the dark, because when I'm traveling, quite often I am in the dark, on the coach, on the train, you know, so that's when I decided to invest in this kit, and I do absolutely love it. If you are more advanced, I would recommend it. It's ergonomic, your hand doesn't hurt with it, you can keep crocheting to your heart's content. It's great for keeping track of your stitches and your rows when it's charged. Mine is currently out of battery, and it also comes with this handle as well, so you can have more than one going at once. This one doesn't light up though. But again, it's a great kit for somebody who has been crocheting for a while. For an absolute beginner, no, I would not recommend. It's like, I also have this one with an interchangeable hook. This one is charged at the moment. This one lights up, great for crocheting in the dark. To be fair, this one's actually better for crocheting in the dark than this one is, but it is what it is. I do prefer this hook though, because I can keep track of things. I prefer this one for when I'm traveling and I'm crocheting in the dark. Again, absolutely love the hooks. They're fantastic. Can I justify a absolute beginner spending £20 on these hooks? Absolutely not. Just buy a cheap hook, and avoid your Temu beginner kits, because they come with these teeny tiny hooks and very fine yarn, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to struggle when you're just starting out. So that's it. I would recommend being careful with the yarns you buy, avoiding your finer yarns, avoiding yarns that are that have sparkles to them. As much as I love the yarn, it's just such a pain to work with and not ideal for beginners. And just going with the cheap basics. Don't splash out, don't splurge, don't get these expensive kits, as great as they are. Just take it steady, one step at a time. And there is one thing that I would recommend beginners do get, if they're struggling with tension, but I'm going to save that for my tension video. It's something that I found has been really helpful for my kids. They're both 9 years old. They have struggled a lot with how to hold the yarn and hold the tension, but they found this one particular item so handy and helpful when it comes to keeping the tension right. But that will be mentioned in a later video, and it is only something that I would recommend if you are seriously struggling to hold your tension. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do press that like button and subscribe. I would love to see you in my future videos. I do van build video, I do loads of creative content. So I do my series, I Made It So You Don't Have To, where I actually review Temu and Shein and AliExpress craft kits. Whether it's crochet, I'm now experimenting with macrame, and I am an absolute beginner with that, so you're getting a beginner's perspective on it. I do my van build videos where you will see crochet in action on the van build, and I am also teaching various other skills through that van build so that people can learn from my mistakes and can learn new skills along the way. And I have so much more planned for in the future, so I hope to see you in my future videos, and have a lovely day. Bye.